Devereaux, glad to have you on the program, man. So, where are you from and how long have you been playing bass?
Hey, bro, thanks for having me. I'm from
Yes,
Wilmington,
sir.
Delaware, and I've been playing bass for about 10 years now. I started at around like 17, going on 18, now I'm like 27, turned 28 on the 14th.
Nice, bro. So, let's get straight to it. So, say I had a bass gig, right? What essentials should I bring?
So, essentials I would tell you to bring on a gig would be, if you can, a backup bass. Always essential to have because you never know what I have on a gig. Strings are definitely important. Wire cutters are important. I would also say a power strip, a good one, and an extension cable. Because sometimes as a musician, especially church musicians, they put us in like some corner somewhere, especially if you're playing at a church you've never been to before, or even if you're playing like at just in my experience, any place you've played at, you don't get the best places where there's power, especially being a bass player with your rig. Also, amp is essential, obviously. And I would also say tuner. There's two types of tuners that I've seen. There's technically three. For the guys that use multi-effects pedal, you have a built-in one that's also handy, especially if you play multi-effects. For guys that don't use that, or like the multi-effect pedals, and maybe just use maybe one or two pedals, maybe like a fuzz pedal or an envelope filter. For those guys, I would say a clip-on tuner on your bass, or you could use another tuner where you actually have your cable. You plug one end into your bass, another end into the tuner itself, and you would tune your bass that way. Also, extra cables. Extra cables are super essential. I've been on a gig where one of my cables broke right before I was about to get on, and if I didn't have an extra cable, it just would have been rough. So if you, and I personally, I get monster cables because they've never failed me. Besides that one time they did break, but it was like somebody had stepped on it at the very last second and then it broke. Other than that, they've never failed on me, never gone bad on me. And for the active bass players, 9-volt batteries. Always carry a pack of 9-volt batteries in your book bag at all times. And that would be about essential. If you're an MD and you run like stems as a bass player, your laptop's essential, an audio interface like a PreSonus or a Focusrite, things of that nature. But those are things that I would necessarily take on a gig, and I feel like anybody going on a gig should have at all times. And it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
You preaching, Doc, man. Those are wise words, man. I'm telling you. But last question. Is there anything else you would like to say to up-and-coming musicians?
Advice for the up-and-coming musicians, I would say practice, definitely practice your craft, learn your craft, show up on time, because a lot of guys have the talent, and because they don't show up on time, they won't get a call back. And
Preach.
most importantly, just have fun with it. Like, it's music at the end of the day. As long as you put the time in and took the time in to practice whatever artist gave you the music ahead of time, or even if it's your church, just the worship team, if they gave you the music ahead of time, take the time out to learn it and come in prepared. Always come in prepared. If you come in prepared, show up on time, be professional in any gig, you'll always you should most likely 9 times out of 10 get a call back. Sometimes things are out of your control, or they'll remember you and keep you in mind for something down the road. You never know. And also, for young musicians, try to create your own gig. And in this time with the coronavirus going on, multiple streams of income are very good. So if you could try to create multiple streams of income now, if something like this happens down the road, because as a musician, we live in a time where, you live in a time like for people who are full-time musicians, you basically, anything can happen. Your car could break down, anything can happen. If you have kids, medical bills high, things happen. So always have multiple streams of income, and something stashed for a rainy day is super important. As along with other things that I sent. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Just wise words, man, from a dude who's been in the game for a while. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Just I'm gonna try to link his info in the right here somewhere or something. His YouTube page actually. But Devereaux Ferguson, man, this dude has been killing for a couple years now. A good amount of time now, and it was over the years I've seen him grow. I've seen his sound evolve. You know what I mean? So he's one of the dudes who I grew up with. I actually know this dude. He has a lot of wisdom. He's even taught me about some stuff, or we talk and we converse and we help to push each other. But yeah. Like I always say, if you're going to run sound, you've got to make it count. Thanks for tuning in on today's episode.